Zara Nightshade stared at her holographic display with growing frustration. 3 weeks had passed since she posted the recruitment notice across every major space station in the Outer Rim, and still no qualified applicants. Her crystalline blue skin shimmered with stress patterns, and her 4 delicate arms moved nervously as she adjusted the controls of her sleek observation deck. The mission was dangerous. Mapping uncharted space beyond the galactic barrier required someone with exceptional skills and nerves of steel. Her people, the Zirathi, were renowned throughout the galaxy as master navigators and stellar cartographers, but even they rarely ventured into the void between galaxies. Another rejection, she muttered, deleting the latest response. Dvorthon had cited insufficient danger compensation, while the Krell simply called the mission suicidal madness. A soft chime indicated a new message. Zara's secondary eyes rolled in annoyance as she opened it, expecting another declination. Instead, she found herself looking at the rugged face of a human male. Dark hair, piercing green eyes, and a confident smile that somehow seemed both reassuring and dangerous. Zara Nightshade. His voice carried through the speakers with surprising warmth. Marcus Kane here, freelance explorer and pilot. I saw your posting about the deep space cartography mission. I've spent the last 15 years pushing beyond known boundaries, and your expedition sounds exactly like what I've been searching for. He paused, his expression growing serious. I know humans aren't exactly known for stellar navigation, but we make up for it in other ways. I've survived 3 encounters with void predators, navigated 7 previously unmapped star systems, and I've never lost a client. If you're willing to take a chance on someone who sees impossible as just another word for interesting, I'm your pilot. Zara's 4 eyes widened in surprise. Human. She had heard stories about their species, their reckless courage, their stubborn refusal to accept limitations, their strange ability to thrive in situations that would break other races. But partnering with one for such a crucial mission, where people valued precision, careful planning, and calculated risks, humans were known for their chaotic approach to problem solving and their tendency to improvise in dangerous situations. Everything about this went against her training and instincts. Yet something in Marcus Kane's voice, quiet confidence that seemed unshakable, intrigued her. The human had attached his credentials, and despite herself, Zara found them impressive. Deep space exploration, first contact protocols, emergency survival training. He was certainly qualified on paper. As she stared at his image, Zara realized she had a choice to make. Continue waiting for the perfect partner who might never come, or trust her instincts and take a chance on the one being in the galaxy crazy enough to answer her call. Her fingers hovered over the communication panel. The smart choice would be to politely decline and keep searching. The safe choice would be to abandon the mission entirely, but Zara had never been content with safe choices. That's how she'd become the youngest stellar cartographer in Zirathi. History. With a deep breath, she activated the comlink. Mr. Kane, she said, her melodic voice carrying across space. When can you be here? Asterisk Marcus Kane's ship docked with Zara's vessel 3 days later, and the culture shock was immediate. Where his battered freighter was all function over form, her craft was a work of art. Smooth curves flowed like liquid metal, and the interior gleamed with advanced technology that seemed almost alive. Welcome aboard the Stellar Whisper, Zara, said, greeting him at the airlock. In person, she was even more striking than her hologram had suggested. Her translucent blue skin seemed to shift and shimmer with inner light, and her 4 graceful arms moved with fluid precision. She wore fitted exploration gear that somehow managed to be both practical and elegant. Impressive ship, Marcus replied, trying not to stare. He'd worked with many alien species before, but the Zirathi were renowned for their beauty as much as their navigational skills. How fast does she go? Fast enough to outrun most things we might encounter, Zara said, leading him through corridors lined with star charts and navigational equipment, though I prefer to avoid trouble rather than outrun it. Marcus grinned. Different philosophies, I guess. I found that sometimes trouble finds you whether you want it or not. As if summoned by his words, warning klaxons suddenly blared throughout the ship. Zara's skin flashed red with alarm as she rushed to the command deck, 3 ships approaching fast. Marauder-class vessels. Pirates? Marcus said grimly, studying the tactical display. They probably think we're carrying valuable cargo. He moved to the weapons console with practiced efficiency. How's your armament? Minimal, Zara admitted. Zarathi's ships are built for exploration, not combat. Then we run, Marcus said, his hands flying over the controls. Can you plot a course through that asteroid field? Zara's 4 eyes widened. Through it. That would be incredibly dangerous. The gravitational variations alone could tear us apart, but can you do it? Marcus pressed as the pirate ships closed distance. For a moment, their eyes met across the command deck. In that instant, Zara saw something in the human that her people rarely displayed: absolute confidence in the face of impossible odds. Not reckless bravado, but calm certainty that somehow they would find a way through. Yes, she said quietly. But you'll need to trust my navigation completely. Done. Marcus replied without hesitation. What followed was the most terrifying and exhilarating 20 minutes of Zara's life. Marcus piloted the ship through the asteroid field with impossible precision, following her rapid-fire course corrections without question. When she called for a 90-degree turn between 2 massive rocks with barely meters to spare, he simply executed the maneuver. The pirates, lacking both their pilot skills and navigator's expertise, quickly fell behind, unwilling to risk the treacherous passage. As they cleared the field, Zara found herself breathing heavily, her skin cycling through colors she hadn't displayed since her academy days. That was ... double quotes, she began. Completely insane? Marcus suggested with a grin. I was going to say incredible, she admitted. I've never had a pilot trust my navigation so completely. And I've never had a navigator plot a course through an active asteroid field in real time, Marcus replied. Looks like we make a good team. For the first time since posting her recruitment notice, Zara began to think this partnership might actually work. 2 weeks into their journey, the stellar whisper approached the galactic barrier, that mysterious region where known space gave way to the vast emptiness between galaxies. Zara stood at the observation deck, her forearms working multiple navigation interfaces simultaneously as she plotted their course through the cosmic phenomenon ahead. Beautiful, isn't it? Marcus said, joining her at the viewport. Before them stretched a nebula, unlike anything in charted space, swirling colors that seemed to shift between dimensions, with stars that flickered in patterns that suggested intelligence rather than random stellar formation. Beautiful and dangerous, Zara replied, though she couldn't keep the wonder from her voice. I'm detecting gravitational anomalies that shouldn't be possible. It's as if space itself is being ... folded somehow. Marcus moved closer to examine her readings, and Zara became acutely aware of his presence beside her. Humans, she had learned, generated a surprising amount of body heat, and his warmth seemed to radiate through the cool air of the ship. His scent was different too, not unpleasant, but distinctly alien and somehow appealing. What do you think caused it? He asked, his voice soft with awe. I don't know, Zara admitted. But whatever it was, had technology far beyond anything we understand. She manipulated the display, zooming in on a structure partially hidden within. The nebula's heart. There, do you see it? Marcus leaned closer, and Zara felt her skin shimmer involuntarily at his proximity. Is that a station? Or a ship? It's massive, easily. The size of a small moon? Zara's excitement was building despite the danger. This was exactly the kind of discovery that could revolutionize their understanding of the galaxy's history. We have to investigate. Agreed, Marcus said. Carefully. If something that advanced went dark out here, there's probably a good reason. As they navigated deeper into the nebula, their ship's systems began behaving strangely. Flickered between readings, and the stellar whisper shuddered occasionally, as if something was gently probing its hull. The nebula is scanning us, Zara realized. Whatever created this place, it's still active on some level. Marcus remained calm, despite the unsettling discovery, and we show it, we come in peace. No aggressive maneuvers, no weapons active. Steady confidence was becoming oddly comforting to Zara. where her people would have spent hours debating protocols and safety procedures. Marcus simply adapted to each new challenge as it arose. It was a refreshing change from the careful overthinking that characterized most of her species. As they approached the ancient structure, details became clearer. It wasn't a station or ship, but something far more extraordinary, a library. Vast, crystalline formations held what appeared to be stored information. Knowledge preserved across eons in a format that somehow transcended language barriers. "Marcus," Zara whispered, her voice filled with reverence. "This contains the accumulated knowledge of an entire civilization. Star maps, scientific discoveries, cultural records, it's all here." Working together over the next several hours, they managed to interface with the alien archive. Marcus's intuitive approach to unfamiliar technology complemented Zara's methodical analysis perfectly. She would identify patterns and structures while he found creative ways to interact with systems that defied conventional logic. As the ancient knowledge flowed through their ship's computers, Zara found herself watching Marcus with growing appreciation. His wonder at each discovery matched her own, and his insights often revealed connections she had missed. "You know," she said during a brief break when I first saw your application, "I thought hiring a human was the biggest risk I'd ever taken." Marcus smiled. "And now I think it might be the best decision I've ever made." The ancient library held more secrets than either of them had imagined. As Marcus and Zara worked side by side, translating alien texts and mapping stellar phenomena that had been lost to time, the professional distance between them gradually dissolved. "This changes everything we know about galactic formation," Zara said, her four hands dancing across multiple displays as she processed astronomical data that was millions of years old. Her excitement made her skin glow with soft bioluminescent patterns that Marcus found mesmerizing. "Look at this," he replied, calling up a three-dimensional star chart that showed trade routes between galaxies that no longer existed. They weren't just explorers, they were travelers between entire galactic clusters. As they worked deeper into the night cycle, their conversations became more personal. Marcus shared stories of Earth, describing blue skies and oceans that Zara could barely imagine. She spoke of her homeworld's crystal cities and the mathematical poetry of her people's navigation songs. "Your people really sing to navigate?" Marcus asked, leaning back in his chair. They had been working for nearly 12 hours straight, and exhaustion was making both of them more open than usual. "It helps us process complex gravitational calculations," Zara explained, a slight flush coloring her translucent skin. "Each song contains navigational data encoded in mathematical harmonies. Could you show me?" Marcus asked softly. Zara hesitated. Zarthi navigation songs were deeply personal, often shared only with close family or bonded partners. But something in Marcus's expression, genuine curiosity mixed with respect, made her want to trust him. She began to sing. Her voice a melodic cascade of notes that seemed to make the very air shimmer. The song spoke of star patterns and gravitational wells, of the dance between celestial bodies that kept the galaxy turning. As she sang, her skin pulsed with gentle light, creating a living aurora that reflected the cosmic mathematics of her. Words Marcus listened in complete silence, his eyes never leaving her face. When the song ended, the command deck seemed too quiet. "That was incredible," he said finally. "I felt like I could almost see the stars moving." "The mathematics create a kind of synesthesia," Zara explained, surprised by how breathless she sounded. "Sound becomes light, equations become emotion." Without thinking, Marcus reached out and gently touched one of her hands. Her skin was warm and incredibly soft, with a texture unlike anything human. "You're amazing, Zara. Your people, your culture, the way you see the universe. It's all amazing." Zara's skin brightened at his touch, bioluminescent patterns flowing, like liquid starlight up her arms. She had never experienced such a reaction to physical contact with an alien species. "Marcus, Their moment was interrupted by a violent shudder that ran through the ship. Emergency lights flickered on as warning alarms filled the air. "What's happening?" Marcus asked, moving quickly to the damaged control station. "Power coupling failure in the main drive," Zara reported, her four hands working frantically across multiple panels. "We're losing primary propulsion." The ancient library's protective field was failing, and without their drive systems, it would be trapped in the nebula's crushing gravitational forces. Working together with desperate efficiency, they managed to restore minimal power. But full repairs would require several hours of delicate work in the ship's cramped engineering compartments. As they crawled through maintenance passages, bodies pressed close together in the confined space, Zara became hyper-aware of every point where Marcus's warm human form touched her own. The steady breathing, the strength in his hands as he helped her navigate tight spaces, the way he instinctively moved to shield her from sharp edges, it all combined to create an intimacy she had never experienced. "There," Marcus said finally as they completed the final connection. "That should hold until we can reach a proper repair facility." They were alone in the dim engineering compartment, surrounded by the gentle hum of restored systems. In the soft glow of the status lights, Zara's skin created patterns of breathtaking beauty. "Marcus," she whispered, and this time when he reached for her, she didn't pull away. 3 days later, the Stellar Whisperer limped back towards civilized space. Her cargo holds filled with the most significant archaeological discovery in galactic history. The ancient library's knowledge would revolutionize understanding of the universe's deep past, and both Marcus and Zara knew their lives would never be the same. But it wasn't just the discovery that had changed them. "The Zirathi Science Directorate will want a complete debrief," Zara said, as she received the first communication from her people in weeks. Her skin had taken on muted tones since they'd left the nebula, as if the vibrant patterns that had bloomed during their time together were fading with their return to reality. "And they'll want to study the data without any human involvement," Marcus added quietly. He stood at the observation deck, watching the approaching space station grow larger on their screens. Standard xenoarchaeological protocols. The silence between them stretched painfully. They had not spoken about what had happened in the engineering compartment, or the way Zara's skin had glowed like a living constellation when Marcus had held her close. They had not discussed the soft words whispered in the darkness, or the way their hearts had beaten in synchronization as they drifted off to sleep in each other's arms. "The Directorate is offering me the position of Chief Navigator for the Deep Space Exploration Division," Zara said finally, reading from her communications display. "It's the highest honor my people can bestow. I would oversee all exploration beyond our current borders." "That's incredible, Zara. You've earned it." Marcus's voice was warm with genuine happiness for her, even as his own heart was breaking. "Your discovery will inspire generations of explorers." "There's something else," Zara said, her four hands trembling slightly as she manipulated the display. "They're classifying the entire mission. The library, the nebula, everything we found. It's being sealed under the highest security levels. Only Zirathi scientists will have access." Marcus nodded slowly. He had expected as much. First contact with ancient alien technology was too valuable to share openly. "Will you be able to continue your research?" From a sterile laboratory analyzing data through screens and reports, Zara said bitterly. Never again feeling the thrill of discovery, never again pushing beyond the edges of known space. She turned to face him fully. Never again working with a partner who sees wonder where others see only risk. Their eyes met across the command deck, and in that moment, all the careful professionalism they had maintained crumbled away. "Come with me," Marcus said suddenly. "I've got 3 more exploration contracts lined up, uncharted systems. First contact possibilities. Things that will make our nebula discovery look like a routine survey." Stepped closer. "We work well together, Zara. Better than well. We're extraordinary. It would mean giving up everything," she whispered. "My position, my status, my people's respect. Zirathi, don't become freelance explorers." "No," Marcus agreed, reaching out to take her hands in his. At his touch, her skin began to glow with soft patterns of gold and silver. They become legends. Zara closed her 4 eyes, and when she opened them again, they blazed with determination. "The Science Directorate won't understand. Probably not. But understanding isn't what drives true explorers, is it?" A smile spread across Zara's features, the first genuine happiness she had felt since receiving her people's messages. "No, wonder is what drives us. Discovery. the need to see what lies beyond the next star. Marcus grinned. So what do you say, partner? Ready for our next impossible mission? Instead of answering with words, Zara activated the ship's communication array and began composing her response to the Directorate. Her message was brief and to the point. She thanked them for the honor, respectfully declined their offer, and submitted her resignation from the Zarathi Space Service. As she sent the message that would change her life forever, her skin erupted. In brilliant cascades of light, patterns more beautiful and complex than Marcus had ever seen. When she turned back to him, her 4 eyes sparkled with anticipation. So, she said, her melodic voice filled with excitement. Where are we going next? Marcus pulled up a star chart showing the unexplored regions beyond the outer rim. Was thinking we might investigate some gravitational anomalies near the Andromeda approach vectors. Completely unmapped territory. Zara's laugh was like music as she began plotting their course to the impossible. Perfect. Let's go find ourselves another legend. Stellar Whisper turned away from the civilized paths of known space and headed once again toward the vast unknown, carrying 2 souls who had found in each other the perfect partner for dancing among the stars.